Good afternoon. First of all, let me start by saying welcome to each and every one of you. As a land-grant institution, the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign has a responsibility to acknowledge the historical context in which it exists. In order to remind ourselves and our community, we will begin this event with the following statement. We are currently on the lands of the Peoria, the Kaskaskia, the Piankashaw, the Wea, the Miami, the Mascoutin, the Odawa, the Sauk, the Meskwaki, the Kickapoo, Potawatomi, Ojibwe, and Chickasaw nations. It is necessary to acknowledge these tribal nations and for us to work with them as we move forward as an institution. Over the next 150 years, we will be a vibrant community inclusive of all of our differences, with Native people at the core of our efforts. Again, welcome to the official public launch of the next 150, the new 5-year strategic plan for the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign. I want to thank all of you who have been involved in the process along the many steps along the way, and of course, thanks to each and every one of you for taking time out to be here today. But in particular, I want to commend our Provost, Andreas Cangellaris, who stepped into a leadership role around this work very short time ago, actually, in the overall scheme of things. So Andreas, thank you for your amazing leadership. And of course, Vice Provost Bill Bernard and Associate Provost Stacy Provost, who have championed this planning process and worked very hard to ensure that we had a final plan that truly reflect not only the advice, but the input of our faculty and our students and our staff. So thanks to each and every one of you for your suggestions, your thoughtful feedback, and your guidance along the way that has led to this launch event today. Now, I know that there are certainly, and has been my experience with strategic planning, and I'm sure that there are many organizations today where the unveiling of the strategic plan does not involve a town hall meeting and somewhat of a celebration. And I suggest to you that that's because that lack of enthusiasm at those other places is because they have never had a strategic planning process that is as robust and one that really works the way ours has done so over the last decades or so, that literally does lead to strategic action and clearly has visible impact in the university community. I'm very proud of the fact that the next 150 builds solidly on the foundation of the last strategic plan that was initiated in 2013. So we really do have an iterative process here. And I take great pride in the fact that we have decided to build on that planning process. Because some of you may recall when I first started, I commented on the strategic plan and I said very clearly, I thought it was one of the best framed plans that I had seen. Although I had nothing to do with that plan, it was very clearly important to me that I would be less than the leader that I profess to be if I didn't have the common sense to build on something that truly had had impact in transforming this university. So if you look at just the few of the initiatives that emerged from that plan, you will fully understand, it will become easier for you to understand why I was so excited and why each of you should be so excited about the impact of our new plan. To give you some examples, the Carle, Illinois College of Medicine, the first college of medicine in the world at the intersection of engineering and healthcare. The revolutionary Siebel Center for Design is beginning to take shape right now. We made a multi-million-dollar investment in reimagining and rejuvenating classrooms to deliver 21st century educational experience to thousands of our students each and every year. The Illinois program for the Humanities was elevated to a campus-level research leader. We launched the Institute for Sustainability, Energy, and the Environment, which, as some of you know, few years after it launched, garnered one of the largest grants from the Department of Energy's approximately $115 million or so. That's what happens when you do strategic planning at Illinois. We've seen our private philanthropy fundraising efforts yield record results. These are just a few of the impacts that grew out of the previous plan. And we take the same framework and recalibration and retooling that plan, and we have taken that approach, and we're very, very proud. We spent the past year carefully and thoughtfully and very collaborative in creating maps to move us forward for the next 5 years here at Illinois. Our goal is very simple. Our goal with this plan is how do we maintain and build on the momentum of excellence that we've set in motion together. And as we've said all through the process, the next 150 years is about positioning ourselves to deliver on our educational research and engagement missions in the most effective and the most efficient and measurable ways to meet the needs of the 21st century. If you're looking for a forecast of exactly what we'll be doing here day by day for the next 5 years, this is not in the plan. If you read it, I think you've observed that. But if you want to know exactly where our priorities will be and how we're going to make decisions, how we're going to make investments and initiatives, and if you want to understand the values and principles that will guide us in the years to come, the next 150 is exactly where you should start. The next 150 wasn't created to bring about an abrupt and unexpected change in directions or to reflect and change in values of this institution. It is meant to simply lay out our collective vision of our institution, our goals, and define the ways in which we will measure our progress and hold ourselves accountable. So you won't find any big surprises here, but what you will find are big ideas with the potential to transform the way the world lives, thinks, and learns. That's what we've been doing for 151 years now. Now we're laying out how we will go about it for the next 149 years. So welcome to the next 150 at Illinois. Thank you very much for being here.
Thank you, Chancellor Jones. Thank you for your leadership. Welcome. Thank you for being here today for the debut of what I believe is a bold and ambitious vision for our future. Progress requires planning. We know this to be true in our work, our research, our relationships. In order to reach our goals, we must create careful, purposeful, and strategic plans to ensure we're able to reach our full potential. This is the reason we make strategic plans, to identify our collective goals and move toward them with specific, meaningful, and purposeful actions. You can find the full text of the next 150 in the booklets that you found in your seats or online at strategicplan.illinois.edu. Please take time to read the text and think about how it intersects with your own work. Today, I want to highlight just a few aspects of the plan, explain how it was created, and reflect on its intended purpose. We have named this plan the Next 150 for a few reasons. Our sesquicentennial celebration, which concluded in 2018, was an opportune time to reflect on our past, our accomplishments, our impact, our challenges. It is critical that we build upon this history. We cannot afford to rest on our past successes. We have a responsibility right now to position this university for its next 150 years of excellence. In practice, this is a 5-year strategic plan from 2018 to 2023, but we sincerely believe it will set the course for Illinois to strengthen our position as the greatest public land-grant research university in the country. It all started with a piece of land on which to build at least one college. It all started with a few passionate, daring, and visionary people who answered this ambitious call to democratize education. And as Archimedes is credited of saying, they and the generations that followed them over the past 150 years have answered this call by truly moving the world forward and upward. Through academic rigor, scholarly excellence, breakthrough discovery, groundbreaking innovation, purposeful engagement, transformational impact. Through global leadership in interdisciplinary research, through a global launch and a very bold undertaking of the first of its kind engineering-based medical school. Our vision, our mission, our areas of distinction represent who we are. They transcend specific plans and remind us of our responsibility as stewards of this great university to never stand still, but to continue to reinvent ourselves, faithful to our land-grant mission to advance the world's well-being. As Chancellor John stated, the strategic plan we are launching today will build upon our past successes, mindful of the realities of a fast-paced, innovation-driven world. A world challenged by dramatic changes and disruptions to every industry sector and every aspect of modern life. Disruptions of unprecedented complexity, rich in opportunities, but also in dangers and threats. And because of who we are, one of the nation's most influential land-grant public research university, we must anticipate and debate these changes and disruptions and make sure to guide and manage them in a human-centered way. This commitment has inspired us in our development of this strategic plan. We know that our duty is to redefine the role of public higher education in the next 150, to educate, inspire, and empower responsible citizens, leaders, innovators, to serve the well-being of their communities, no matter where they are in space and time. And this strategic plan will set us on the course to do just that. I want to spend a bit of time now talking about our process for creating the plan. How did we get here? This slide details our timeline. In the spring and summer of 2017, we began the planning process. This is when our strategic task forces were formed. In fall 2017, we launched the planning website and began gathering information. At the beginning of 2018, these task forces submitted reports with recommendations. We also conducted several goal development sessions. Later in the year, we worked hard to ensure a transparent process by sharing the reports from these groups with our campus community at a town hall event and through our planning website. Many individuals submitted feedback through a form on the website, through emails, and through in-person conversations. For those of you who took time to provide that feedback, I want you to know that we read every comment and sincerely appreciate your input and feedback. At the end of 2018, we took that feedback and drafted a plan that included input from many stakeholders across campus. We also debuted our Stories of Impact project, a website that details results of our strategic plan in an engaging story format. Now, here we are at the launch of the Next 150. Our strategic task forces were an important component to the creation of the Next 150. These topics identify some of the most important issues facing our society. We gathered individuals from across campus who are experts in these areas. You can see in the full list online that they represent a range of perspectives. This was critical to the goal of investigating these topics deeply. We're extremely grateful for their expertise and passion that guided our plan creation. If you participated in a strategic focus area, will you please stand for a moment? Thank you for your work and your impact. Our guiding principles reflect many of the same ideas that were presented in the 2013-2016 plan. Through the mechanics and implementation strategies of a plan, though the mechanics and implementation strategies of the plan may change, these are the principles that stand firm. There are also two universal themes that inform nearly every part of the strategic plan. One is diversity. It is essential to who we are and what we do that we continue to cultivate and value a diverse community. This starts with our long-run commitment to the democratization of higher education by prioritizing access and affordability, and our conviction that our community must reflect the full diversity of the world we're asked to serve. The grand challenges we will face as a society in the next 150 years will call for collaboration, listening, and a capacity for perspective-taking. Therefore, we will strengthen and catalyze the diversity of our community to lead and to find solutions for society's greatest challenges. The other universal theme is public engagement. As a public land-grant university, it should be the centerpiece of our mission. This is how we will stand up as agents for the democratization of innovation. This is how we will empower our communities to inspire us and to join us in purposeful scholarship, research, teaching, and service. As you read through the details of the plan, you will see both of these themes presented often and with great purpose. Another familiar element you will see are the four main goals that shape our entire strategic plan. After talking with main stakeholders, we continuously heard feedback that these goals encapsulate our vision for what Illinois should focus on for the future. I encourage you to read these sections to learn about our vision for fulfilling these ambitious goals. I want to speak briefly about Goal 4. Appropriate, sufficient, and sustainable resources are imperative to our success. Our new transparent budget model will help us thrive as we progress toward our shared campus-wide goals and aspirations. As we invest in growing our faculty ranks, in new interdisciplinary initiatives in food, nutrition, energy, health sciences, and cancer, in stepping up as global leaders of a human-centered digital transformation, in empowering the University of Illinois Extension to address rural and metropolitan needs and issues, in pioneering the educational pathways that will foster education across disciplines, in accelerating the growth of our entrepreneurial ecosystem and leveraging the Discovery Partners Institute and the Illinois Innovation Network to drive economic development in our region and the state, we must be responsible stewards to ensure that we have the necessary elements to achieve our goals. Now, we will hear from several faculty members sharing their vision for how Illinois can make an impact in the first three goals. Our first three faculty members will talk about fostering scholarship, discovery, and innovation. I would like to introduce them for you before I ask them to come and share with you their thoughts. Rohit Bhargava, Director of the Cancer Center at Illinois and Professor of Bioengineering. Dr. Bhargava is the Founder Professor of Engineering in the Department of Bioengineering and Affiliate Professor in ECE, MEXI, Chemical and Biomolecular Engineering and Chemistry, as well as the Carle, Illinois College of Medicine. A major theme of his research is to uncover tumor microenvironment factors in cancer progression using new technology. He serves as the director of the Cancer Center at Illinois. Dr. Bhargava was a member of the strategic planning panel that reviewed all the contributions from the task forces and goal development sessions. Antoinette Burton, Illinois Program of Research in the Humanities Director and Professor of History. Dr. Burton is a Swanland Endowed Chair and Professor of History, studying 19th and 20th century Britain and its empire, with a specialty in colonial India and an ongoing interest in Australasia and Africa. She is the director of the Illinois Program for Research in the Humanities, and she chaired the Humanities Task Force. Brent Roberts, faculty coordinator of Social and Behavioral Science Research Initiative and professor of psychology. Dr. Roberts' primary line of research is dedicated to understanding the patterns of continuity and change in personality across the decades of adulthood and the mechanisms that affect these patterns. Dr. Roberts served on the Health Science Task Force and chaired the Social and Behavioral Sciences Task Force. Please come and share your thoughts with us.
Thank you, Provost Cangellaris, and good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for allowing me the opportunity to share what we've been doing in the cancer space and what our plans are for the next 5 years as part of the exciting strategic plan. Cancer is a major problem in our society. Approximately 4 in 10 people will be diagnosed with cancer and will lead to 2 out of 10 deaths. But cancer is not just an individual problem, where once diagnosed with cancer, one is really concerned about the best course forward or the chances or perhaps prediction of their future. It's also a national problem, where the big reason is we are focusing our economy and all our strengths in trying to figure out how to deliver better care at lower cost. And this is going to be an ever-increasing problem with the aging of our society. So in this situation, the University of Illinois can make a difference. In fact, the people of the nation and state of Illinois should look to the University of Illinois to make a difference. And the question is why? The question is because our university is uniquely positioned at this time to make a difference and change the status of cancer today. We can change the way we monitor people for cancer, we can change the way we diagnose it, we can change the way we treat it, and we can change the lives of survivors because we can invent tomorrow's technology to aid their lives. We've invented the web browser, as you just heard, the MRI, the visible LED. Can we do something in cancer now? This time demands it. But we cannot have an impact on cancer without understanding the human side of cancer, without understanding the cultural, socioeconomic, and racial disparities in cancer that are related to this healthcare topic. We cannot make progress if we don't understand basic biology, and we cannot understand or make progress in this area if we don't understand how to re-engineer healthcare. Our impact will only be felt when this basic research that we do on this campus, the education we conduct on this campus, actually makes it to change people's lives. And that requires us to partner with our local and national medical centers. It's a very tall order, and it's a very sobering thought. To make progress, we need to mobilize and integrate in a way that we've never seen before. We need to integrate in a manner that improves our scholarship, focusing on this area, changes the way we educate our students with new paradigms, and improves our community engagement. Unless all that is brought together with the power of the 15 schools and colleges on our campus, we will not make substantial progress or have impact. So we've been deliberately doing this for about 8 years now, and in 2018, we officially became the 8th and newest campus-wide research institute on our campus. Next week, there's another important development. We go to the National Cancer Institute and ask them for permission to apply for designation as one of the NCI-designated cancer centers in the nation. This would be the first new non-clinical cancer center in about 30 years in the country. So the seriousness of this mission and the potential for Illinois innovation to change this area is really what's in the strategic plan. It's really something that guides us forward every day. We truly want to build a vibrant research, education, and service organization in the cancer space that is worthy of the next 150 years of this university. So I invite you to join in this effort. Visit us at cancer.illinois.edu, and I look forward to working with everyone for the next 5 years and beyond. Thank you so much.
Hardly a day goes by when someone doesn't send me a headline story that makes the case for putting humanities research, teaching, and public activity at the heart of a 21st century university education. We know, too, that all kinds of employers, from the tech sector to healthcare to the corporate world, actively seek graduates who can tap that unique combination of skills, knowledge, imagination, and critical understanding which a course of study in the humanities routinely cultivates. What my colleagues and I on the Humanities Task Force brought to the strategic planning process was a vision of Illinois where this kind of programmatic ambition is part of the daily fabric, not just in one college, but across the university as a whole. Our report highlights the tremendous assets that the distinguished cohort of humanists at Illinois brings to the entire campus. We make a case for extending resources to emerging areas like medical, environmental, and digital humanities, as well as for supporting fields of inquiry we cannot yet fully imagine. We seek greater access to alumni and foundation opportunities to develop the capacity to support these arenas, and we call for platforms where faculty, staff, and students can, together, build a distinctive public humanities agenda worthy of the research-intensive land-grant mission to which we are all dedicated. I'm proud to say that diversity, equity, access, and inclusion are hallmarks of Illinois humanities expertise and practice, and that my colleagues can and do serve as models for these values at Illinois and beyond. I'm deeply appreciative for the fact that our campus leaders have committed themselves to formally advancing IPRH to the level of an institute where we can continue to strive for critically engaged humanities research, learning, and public service. And I'm determined in my role as a campus leader to promote our collective conviction that the work of the humanities rooted in these values is central to imagining just, productive, and innovative futures for everyone. And last, I am confident that by fortifying the distinctive humanities ecosystem we have, we can fulfill the obligation at the heart of Illinois commitment, which is nothing less than to make this a place where we show the world how to change the face of knowledge once and for all. Thank you.
The social and behavioral sciences cut across almost every unit and every college at the University of Illinois. We have one of the largest footprints for research in the university. That group, that community, is the group that I represent. We'd like to first thank the university for choosing to invest in us. I'd like to thank the people who are on the task force for the hard work in proposing a vision for what we would do if the university did invest. And I'd be glad to tell you what we came up with. First, I want to mention that we've abandoned our rather clunky prior name, the Social and Behavioral Science Research Initiative, and the acronym that went along with it. And we're now going to be called the Center for Social and Behavioral Science, so CSBS. A little more elegant, a little easier. Let me tell you about the 5 goals we have set for ourselves for the coming years. The first is relatively simple, but I think very important. We are going to become the platform for communicating the excellence that exists already in the social and behavioral sciences at the University of Illinois. We have some of the world's leading experts in the social and behavioral sciences, and we are going to let the world know what we do and how good we are. The second thing we're going to do is support the strategic planning initiative to take on grand challenges, especially grand challenges for the social and behavioral sciences and how they can interface with other domains in the university. In particular, we'll do 3 things. The first thing we'll do is take on the perennial issue of social and behavioral science and health. We are now living in a time when the health factors we face, like cancer, like heart disease, are mostly behavioral issues. What we do with ourselves, whether we should get vaccinated, whether we should eat that extra piece of cake, are social and behavioral issues. And those are the purview of the social and behavioral scientists on this campus. We study that, we understand it, we can make significant contributions to that and look forward to working with institutions like the IHSI to make things better for people. The second area that we would like to focus on, a grand challenge, is how society and individuals face and interface with technology. Our colleagues north of Green Street do amazing things. They create sensors and computer programs and apps and machine learning that social scientists actually envy and look forward to using in greater utility. But your work also provides incredible challenges for individuals and society, none more significant than the neck problems we'll all face from staring at our cell phones for our entire life. These are primary issues in the social and behavioral sciences. We can take advantage of it, we can study it. In our opinion, we think that the University of Illinois, given the strength of the social and behavioral sciences, given the strength of engineering, should be the institution in this country, if not the world, that understands this space and contributes to it scientifically. We should be the best place possible for that focus. The third grand challenge we'd like to focus on is solving poverty. This is not a small thing, as you know. It is an issue that confronts every generation in every society. We have some of the best researchers on understanding poverty and inequity cut across many different areas of social and behavioral science. We plan to harness that expertise in order to help address, if not ameliorate, some of the issues that come with that reality. Our fourth goal is to foster the methodological expertise and training of the social and behavioral scientists. We have done that in small ways by doing workshops where we bring experts in from around the world to help teach us the newest and most amazing techniques and statistics and methods. We're also going to foster and enhance the Illinois Neurobehavioral Assessment Lab, which is the methodological platform for improving our methods and assessment. Finally, we plan on engaging with our social and behavioral science colleagues in order to have them reach out to help our community, Champaign, Urbana, the larger community of the state of Illinois, specific places in Illinois like Chicago, with the knowledge and expertise that we have for making our communities better places to live. Those are the 5 goals we hope to achieve in the coming years. We appreciate your support, and we look forward to hearing from you with your suggestions and advice how to proceed. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Exciting stuff. Now we will hear from 2 faculty members that have worked very hard about Goal 2's objectives, providing transformative learning experiences. Tracy Salkin, Dean of the College of Media and Professor of Political Science, her research focuses on legislative institutions and congressional campaigns. Dr. Salkin served as chair of the Undergraduate Education Task Force. And Jana Disner, Associate Professor in School of Information Sciences. Dr. Disner has research interest in social computing, human-centered data science, and responsible computing that is combining the benefits of large-scale data analytics with the consideration of social context and ethical concerns. Dr. Disner served as the data science on the Data Science Task Force. Please welcome them as they share with us their perspectives.
It was a pleasure to serve with my colleagues on the Undergraduate Education Task Force, and I'm so pleased to be part of this event today as we all see how the work of so many of our colleagues across campus has come to fruition in the strategic plan. There is much to be inspired by in the plan. From my perspective, the most exciting aspect of our second goal, to provide transformative learning experiences, is the overarching focus on opening up opportunities for our students, both undergraduate and graduate. And this is manifested in the plan in a number of ways, but I'm going to focus very quickly on 4 of them. The first is that access matters. The recognition that access and excellence go hand in hand, and that an Illinois education should be accessible to all who qualify academically. As a result, robust financial aid and scholarship programs are absolutely essential to attracting an outstanding and diverse student body. The second is also that access matters, and that's when students arrive on campus. The plan asserts that we need to promote the ability of students to access fully all that an Illinois education has to offer. This means that we continue to support programs that reward and value quality teaching, that we take a comprehensive approach to student success, enhancing both academic support programs and those that target students' health and well-being, that we continue to strive for inclusivity, of meeting the needs of diverse groups of students, and that we make use of data analytics to better understand student paths to success and to use what we learn to inform our decision-making in this area. The third is that we make flexibility a hallmark of the Illinois experience, from modular curricula that allow for new degree programs or simply new ways of taking courses, to fostering education across disciplines by increasing the feasibility of cross-college dual degrees and joint majors, to re-envisioning the general education experience we provide to all of our students to prepare them to succeed and lead after they graduate. Fourth is to build on our proud history of innovation and impact by embracing interdisciplinarity in both our undergraduate and graduate programs, by offering programs that link students to our communities and to industry partners through experiential learning, and by expanding opportunities for students to stretch their boundaries through capstone courses, research, and international experiences. In short, the strategic plan reflects our unwavering commitment to our students, our recognition of our mission, obligation, and privileges as one of the great land-grant institutions, and our aspirations to continue to lead and innovate and to create new generations of leaders and innovators, not just over the next 5 years, but over the next 150. Thank you.
Hello. I'm here representing two task forces, the Data Science Task Force and the Data Science Education Task Force, and I want to thank all the members who put so much effort into these reports and meetings. So data science is here for all of us, and it's concerned with all the aspects of creation, collection, analysis, and governance of data. Data science is truly interdisciplinary. It concerns not only the applications of mathematical, statistical, and computational methods to digital data, but also the consideration of ethical concerns, application contexts, and human-centered perspectives. Data science has been identified as an important area of the future and a prerequisite for national competitiveness in discovery and innovation. Here at Illinois, we believe that data acumen is becoming an integral part of every discipline and a very wide range of professions. We are prepared to tackle this challenge. Based on broad consultation across campus and with external stakeholders, Illinois has identified the following set of goals for our data science undergraduate education strategy. We want to give every undergraduate student on our campus the opportunity to have a meaningful exposure to data science and to acquire basic data science literacy. We want to create multiple on-ramps to data science education, including for students who do not intend to major in STEM fields and for students from underserved populations. We are training students in transdisciplinary collaboration and in applying their data science skills to real-world problems in a practical way. We are making data science education a collaborative and flexible undertaking by fostering collaboration between various degree programs across the entire campus. At Illinois, we have started to put these goals into action. As part of the strategic plan, the Data Science Education Task Force was started, which is charged with developing a campus-wide strategy for undergraduate offerings at Illinois. This group has been working, for example, on ideas for creating a X, which is a discipline, plus data science proposal that every college can work on and implement on their own. The number of courses and programs for undergraduate level data science education at Illinois has grown rapidly over the last few years. For example, this spring, Illinois is piloting Stats 107. It's a new course that enrolled 25 students from 20 majors across campus. And we are planning to offer this course again in the fall at scale with many more students. Finally, a group of faculty, including people from the iSchool, the Fine and Applied Arts, the Civil Design Center, math, and engineering, are working on an NSF proposal where we propose to develop practical transdisciplinary pathways to advance the data science workforce. For this proposal, we so far have gotten agreement from every single disciplinary college on campus, including colleges that don't even have undergraduate students, who want to be involved in this effort and who committed time to this effort, which shows the broad interest and commitment of Illinois to data science education for all of our undergraduates. So in summary, we are inviting you to work with us on making data science education happening for everybody in a collaborative and interdisciplinary fashion here at Illinois. Thank you.
Wonderful. Finally, we will hear perspectives on making significant and visible societal impacts. For that, we're going to hear from Prasanta Kalita, Professor of Agriculture and Biological Engineering, and Ruby Mendenhall, Associate Professor of Sociology and African American Studies. Dr. Kalita is a professor in Agriculture and Biological Engineering, and his research areas include water management and environmental sustainability, hydrology, watershed and water quality, erosion and sediment control, and irrigation. Professor Mendenhall is serving as Assistant Dean of the Illinois College of Medicine, and in that role, Professor Mendenhall is overseeing the diversity and democratization of health innovation in the college. Her research examines how living in racially segregated neighborhoods with high levels of violence affects Black mothers' mental and physical health. Please come and share with us your perspectives.
Thank you, Provost Cangellaris. I have two issues that's very near and dear to my heart, food and water. I work on both those areas, so I'll be sharing some of the examples and the impact that we have made and other things that already you could see in the strategic plan. So we know the food insecurity in our community and around the world is a grand challenge. Globally, we have 800 million people that go to bed hungry every single day. 11% of Illinois households are food insecure. And 1 out of every 5 children in Champaign County, they live in a household that are food insecure. The campus hunger, the hunger among college students are rising every day. And the food insecurity generates tremendous negative individual, social, and political consequences. And the way we relate to the food insecurity with water means because 70% of the water that we have on this planet goes into the food production. So in another 30, 40 years, when the world population will be 9.5 billion people, how do we sustain feeding them with the limited water that we have? But we have good news is University of Illinois is there in the world and here in the Midwest, and we have played a prominent role in food and water research over the last many decades. We translate discovery into real-world impact, emerging from disciplinary and interdisciplinary efforts. For an example, Illinois established the first land-grant university in India, and that triggered the Green Revolution and saved millions of lives there. Here are a few other examples. There are many initiatives going through the College of ACES and many other colleges, many other institutions on this campus. But here, I will highlight the water and livelihood initiatives that we have been involved. It has helped many people in the Middle East and African communities to sustain food production through innovative water harvesting system design and implementation. That project has helped the Bedouins restore their livelihood through sustainable animal and food production system. As you know, 30% of the food that we produce globally goes into is lost or wasted. It's about 1.4 billion tons of food. And if we save only 1 year of lost food, we can feed 37 million people for the rest of their life. With that challenge, University of Illinois in 2015 brought the world community in Rome, Italy, to develop strategy how to solve the food loss and food waste problem, and we still continue to be a big part of it through ADM, Institute for Post-Harvest Loss Prevention, to all the private-public partnerships. We are moving into that one. Very recently, Chancellor Jones hosted the PUSH, the Presidents United to Solve Hunger, and UFWH, the Universities Fighting World Hunger, on our campus. We have developed some meaningful engagements with local, regional, national, and global communities to tackle campus hunger and community hunger problem. For the next 150 years and beyond, I think 149 years, as Chancellor Jones mentioned, we stay committed to make the world a better place for everyone with food, water, and health. The Discovery Partners Institute that you probably all heard about is a prime example of how dedicated Illinois is to its commitment. So here at Illinois, we strive to build upon, deploy, and expand our world-class problem-solving strengths to address critical challenges faced by our society. Thank you.
Thank you for inviting me here to talk about this critical component of the university, public engagement. And thank you for those who have been very thoughtful about the potential of public engagement at this land-grant university. Because this is the first day of Black History Month, I want to put a title to what I'm going to say, and it's taken from Dr. King's book published after he was assassinated. The book has the limitless title, Where Do We Go From Here? And I'll add, in the next 150 years, community or chaos. My answer to this provocative question, where do we go from here, is that we are planning to tear down many academic walls and engage the community in unprecedented ways that will transform Urbana-Champaign and hopefully the larger society. According to the Carnegie Foundation, public engagement involves, and this is a quote, a mutually beneficial exchange of knowledge and resources in a context of partnership and reciprocity, end of the quote. So one model of partnership and reciprocity involves working with citizen scientists, who are individuals from the general public who participate in research. They make observations, they help collect data, analyze data, and they add new knowledge that can further scientific progress in ways that can be disruptive and generate new discoveries. So this mutual exchange of knowledge and resources is happening in different parts of the campus, and it's making it possible for us to address grand challenges such as the 80,000 individuals living on the streets of Chicago, the 200 and so homeless individuals in Champaign County, and some of these without shelter and temperatures colder than Siberia and Arctic. We are also working with community members here and in Chicago around the visible and invisible impacts of trauma associated with gun violence. The Carl Illinois College of Medicine and the College of Engineering, in partnership with the Interdisciplinary Health Sciences Institute, the SIBO Center for Design, and many people on campus have created the Health Maker Lab. And that's designed to democratize health innovation. So, for example, I met 2 young Black girls at the NAACP's AXO program. And one of them was conducting research around how to cure sickle cell disease, and the other young woman was trying to understand the triggers associated with children who have epilepsy. So these girls, with the approval from their parents, will have the opportunity to submit their ideas to the Health Makeathon competition this April. We are creating an ecosystem where we can nurture diverse types of genius and even future Nobel Prize winners working to eliminate grand challenges such as health disparities. So on January 18th, Father Pfleger gave a talk to celebrate Dr. King, and he said, you may not have been in Memphis with the sanitation workers, and you may not have been on the bridge in Selma when state troopers attacked the protesters, but you are here now. So, I say, the challenge is, what are you going to do? What role will you play in moving us towards the beloved community and not towards chaos? How can we create a publicly engaged university where our research and teaching lead to advancements that will be relevant for the next 150 years for the local community and the global society? Thank you.
Thank you all very much. So let me repeat Ruby's starting words. Where do we go from here? This is a strategic plan that belongs to all of you. It's your canvas, it's your fabric, it's your classroom, it's your research lab, it's your community. Let's embrace it with the same daring ambition that those who started with just a piece of land. Turn this amazing piece of land into one of the most influential universities in the world. You heard our colleagues talk about the impact that we have had on the world and will continue to have. But I want you to appreciate the fact that that impact requires all of us to come together, to align our own passions, goals, aspirations with this framework that we put in front of you. The University of Illinois depends on its people, depends on all of you to be able to thrive in the next 150 years. And as you know very well, as you have seen it through the examples that were shared by our colleagues, as you have witnessed it by looking around the world the way it has changed in the last 150 years, when Illinois rises, humanity advances. Let's go at it. Let's make sure that Illinois puts its stamp over the 21st century in ways that people expect of us. It will take all of us, and I count on all of you to join Chancellor Jones and me in what we believe is going to be an amazing era for the influence of the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign. Thank you all very much. Let's go, let's move forward. Let's make good things happen. Thank you. This concludes our event. Enjoy the rest of the day and the warmer weekend that is ahead of us.